Welcome to Not a Real Artist, a podcast by me, Iris Fritschi-Cussens.
And me, Tamara, discussing relatable creative topics with honesty and humour.
Welcome to season 4, I think. In this episode, we're going to talk about... Well, actually, we're just going to leave it kind of open. We're going to do a little bit of an update and then just take it from there and talk about creativity based on where we are at right now in our kind of creative journey, creative life.
Iris, where have you been? I've been looking all over for you.
Under a rock. Did you look under the rock?
No, I did not.
Ooh, or actually, outside. I've been outside. Did you look outside?
Have you been touching grass, ma'am?
Yes, I have been touching grass. Yes, I'm sorry.
You have been outside, though.
Oh, I've been outside a lot, yes. I've become like a kind of a slightly outdoorsy person, which is very strange and mildly disconcerting. So, yeah, that's not to do with art, though.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's a good way to start. You've been running and no one is chasing you.
Yes, I've been running and no one is chasing me, which is so weird. I would really like to talk about running, but I kind of feel like I want to talk about art first. So I'm gonna just shelve that for a second and come back to it.
You're gonna run away from running.
I'm gonna run away from running. I do think it's a really interesting, important topic, but I feel like it comes slightly later in the journey of self-discovery. So first, tell me about... Okay, I need to caveat this because I'm gonna say something and then people are gonna listen to this and go like, but it's not October. I'm listening to this in February, Iris. What are you talking about? But if that is the case, and you're listening to this in February, go back to October 2025 because stuff is happening. And what the thing is, your face is so funny because it's about you. The thing that's October is happening in October is Cocktober.
Oh.
And I want you to talk about Cocktober.
I thought something was really happening because you were like hyping it up, and I thought like something important.
Yeah. But it is the coolest thing I don't do... So for those of you who don't know, October is that month in which loads of people do lots of art challenges with like 31 prompts. So you do art every day to a prompt. And Tamara made a list of kind of like, it's like an anti-list, an anti-daily challenge list. And it's called Cocktober. And Kak in both South African and in Dutch means shit. The brown stuff. I will not be participating because I don't do challenges like that. But the art that you've been posting is just really personal, original, don't give a fuck type of art. And I want you to talk about it.
I would so much rather talk about running, but okay. Yeah, man, I really am tired or got tired of like not creating for myself. And I'm just genuinely an excited person, an excitable personality, and I like trying new things. And I think the thing about these challenges is that they're really well thought out and they follow like some theme, etc., etc. And it's really good to kind of have criteria that like narrows it down or makes it difficult to kind of like run away with it. But it just felt a little bit too limiting for me. And also, I cannot keep up a 31-day challenge. So like, I don't even know if I'm going to do my own challenge. I'm just being like very honest about that. But just want to make some stuff. And I want to make... Here I go again with my sad sack story. I'm seeing a lot of like AI stuff, which, okay, that's great. But I'm seeing a lot of like slop. And I'm seeing a lot of stuff that's like quickly generated. And I'm really missing... I'm missing the amateur in this world. I'm missing also when you look at vlogs and like things are really... There's nothing wrong with making something that looks good and slick. But I just wonder like where the person is in it sometimes. And I want to, if I can't see it anywhere else, then I'm just going to see it in myself. So that's just the basis of it. And I made sure that none of these prompts are kind of linked. Some of them are repeated. Like I have sign, like make a sign 4 times. And I saw somebody sent me a message and said, what is a mascot? Because I wrote mascot and I missed the C.
I knew, because you already said in your thing, like, including spelling mistakes. And I was like, oh, yeah, I know what that means. And I thought that was really funny.
No, it was just genuinely a mistake. But I'm just enjoying making stuff, man. I'm just enjoying, like, it feels like I'm enjoying my life when I'm doing this. So I want to keep on keeping on. And I want everybody to make shit stuff too. And it doesn't have to be shit, right? But it's just about making. I really just want to see humans making stuff.
Yeah, and I think that really shows in the art that you've posted, because I feel like it's really personal from you. It's like Tamara made that, and Tamara made that because Tamara wanted to make that, and not because it fits, like it just coming from you. And I know you're sharing it online, but it doesn't feel like you've made it in order to, it feels very pure, I think, is what I am seeing in it. And I think that I really like that, because I feel like that is the best reason to make art, making art because you want to, and painting the things that you want to. And I think I have definitely got very lost myself, like multiple times over the years, kind of, doing what I think I should be doing what I think is expected of me, working in the style that is objectively my style. I think you can get very embroiled in that. And I think you can get embroiled in that in the absence of the internet, but I think the internet amplifies it like so much. And it becomes really difficult to separate your own struggle as an artist from a struggle that is kind of exacerbated by the internet and social media and AI. And so I just really admire what you're doing with this, both with this challenge and with, your art.
Yeah, I think for many of us, our social circles, whether we like it or not, it is the internet now. It's not your neighbor or your friends at school. I mean, I think the older you get, the less friends you get. Maybe I'm speaking for myself here. For me, social media or the internet is like one of the biggest rocks on my back. You mentioned that you could get embroiled in like being what you think people need you to be or what you should be creating. Now, with me, it's kind of like when I'm expected to be a certain way, I just stop doing stuff, because I'm so anti, like, not being myself. It really feels painful when, like, even teaching on other people's courses. I love teaching and I love what comes with it. I love everybody engaging with me, but I do have to be a certain way on some of these courses because I'm representing somebody's business that they've worked really hard to build. And sometimes I just do not want to be that person. I want to go and show my naked. No, that's not true, but like, you know what I mean? The equivalent of going and like flashing my breasts on YouTube. That's kind of what I want to do, and I can't. And that kind of makes me feel so stagnant. So yeah, where are you now in terms of being embroiled in and doing something else? Like, who are you now in your art practice?
Oh, that's a good question, because I have not been doing my art at all, pretty much for a really long time. So Not a Real Artist, title of this podcast, big arrow pointing at me. I say that kind of tongue in cheek because I don't feel like I'm not an artist just because I'm not making art. I'm being creative in a lot of different ways. I took a step back from teaching a while back. I decided at a certain point I didn't really want to teach anymore. Like, I finished up what I was committed to, really pleased with what I've done over the years, but I knew that it was too much of a burden to keep doing that, especially because I wasn't feeling super inspired in my own art practice, and my teaching has always come from my art practice. And if I felt like the creative well was kind of dry, and then I was still trying to teach things, it just felt very manufactured. And it's something I can definitely do, but it didn't feel right. So I wanted to stop doing that. And then I also stopped vlogging. The teaching thing was more of a deliberate decision where I, over the course of like probably a year, I was thinking, I'm thinking of doing this. Can I do this? I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to stop teaching. Whereas the vlogging thing was much more gradual. It was like, I just realized at a certain point that I didn't need to do it anymore. The point is that I kind of almost fought against these decisions, thinking like, oh, but surely I can't just stop doing that. That's bad, like, because I've been doing it for such a long time. Now, if I stop, that's like, I don't know, like I might as well lie down in my grave or something dramatic. But it's really about finding the freedom to make decisions for myself, to not know whether they are the right decision. So I did announce that I was going to stop teaching, but you'd have had to like read my posts on Instagram. It's not like I did a big banner of like, oh, I'm stopping teaching, because I didn't need to announce it in that way. But I never really announced the thing about the vlogging because I never really wanted to, I don't know. I didn't commit to saying like, oh, I'm going to stop doing X or Y or Z, because then it sounds as if you've made a decision that is based on something that you know. And it was kind of more like I was exploring what I don't know, but just kind of going with what I felt I wanted to do or didn't want to do. And so I kind of feel like sometimes there's some people that I follow who change their mind periodically. And then when they change their mind, they do a big post kind of, I'm now not doing this anymore, or I'm now doing that. And it's like, it's a very big thing. And for me, it was much more private. And I didn't want to announce having figured something out when I hadn't actually figured it out yet. And like the result of this process is, I guess, I'm not teaching, I'm not vlogging. I'm also not really making any art at the moment. I have tried. I'm not really able to at the moment, but I am redefining what creativity means to me. And I think I had got so embroiled in the internet and being creatively kind of out there and sharing and stuff that it became so tied up with my art that I didn't really know my own motivations for doing art anymore. And I think that this step away from art at this point in time is allowing me to kind of renegotiate my relationship with art and creativity. So what I have been doing is I have been playing Minecraft because I love Minecraft and I like building in Minecraft. I'm challenging myself to like do creative things in Minecraft. I have been sewing. I have made myself some dresses, a skirt, and zipper pouches and stuff. And it's just like using creativity in a different way. And also I have been running. And the running, sure, it's not creativity, but like it's really about self-development, I think is what I'm saying. So yeah, I don't know if there was any sense in that story, but in a way, I feel like it doesn't have to make sense because I'm not trying to come to a conclusion about, oh, this is who Iris is. And that is in an easily digestible bullet pointed format. This is who Iris is. I don't need that to be the case right now. So I'm just, I don't know, like living my life and seeing what that means to me.
Like when you mention people announcing like, hey, I'm stepping back from posting on YouTube or whatever, I don't fully understand the psychology behind that.
Yeah, and also there's so much gray area as well. And I think it's so uncomfortable sometimes to like have to sit with the gray area and to say, I don't know. And it's much easier to like come out swinging and say, this is the only way, or this is the only interpretation, or this is the only definition of something, of a self maybe, or like of an art or whatever. And I'm just like really trying to sit in the undefined. I also think that I used to really need to post things on the internet. I have been posting things on the internet for a very long time, since I was about 16. And I'm not saying that I don't need validation anymore. I do need validation, but I became really aware of the fact that I didn't want to get my validation from the internet because it was, as good as it can feel, it wasn't right to nourish me as a person. And I feel like I'm living a much more private life now, but in a way I feel like I'm ready for that. I wasn't ready for that. I needed to live my life and share it on the internet quite a bit in order to just feel like I was okay. I'm actually living in the space of being okay without being witnessed on the internet. It's been really good, but I also think that in a way it has to be, at this point in time, it has to be a little bit all or nothing, because every time I'm like, oh, I could do some art, and then the immediate next thought is like, and I could post it on Instagram and like show people what I'm working on. And it's like, oh my God, I cannot separate these things. So yeah, the separation is kind of necessary at this point, even though it doesn't feel heavy-handed, like, oh, I'm not allowed to post on the internet. No, not like that. It's just, I'm just trying to live my life and my activities and my creativities in a way that in the first instance is significant for me and not significant in order to post it, in order to have it seen, in order to prove that I am a good person or that kind of thing.
You mentioned making things in Minecraft. And for those of us that don't play Minecraft, instead of me telling you what I imagine that is, would you like to tell me what that entails and like what it actually scratches, like what itch it scratches in your creative brain? if that's what it's doing. I mean, I imagine it is.
Yeah, so Minecraft is a game in which you've got different blocks. So imagine it kind of like Lego. You've got a pretty much free way of obtaining different building blocks, and then you can build with it. It's also a game in which you can go and kill enemies and stuff like that. So it's kind of like sandbox Lego, but it's also a little bit like gamey game. But the gamey game part of it is very like is not super involved. So it really is, if you want to keep playing it, you have to make your own fun in the game, because otherwise you'll just do the same thing again and again. So building is, I think, the bread and butter of the longevity of Minecraft, what makes me come back to it. It's a creative palette, building things or creating things in 3D, which I find very, very challenging. I don't have a 3D brain at all. And I have aphantasia as well. So I don't really imagine things. It's been really challenging, but it's been also really nice to kind of bring some of my learning from art, like as in painting art journaling, into Minecraft. And the main thing of that is that it will get better next time. As in, right now, just do the thing that you want to do and are able to do now. And then when you do the thing the next time, you will improve it because you'll have learned something. And I think that's a way for me also not to get stuck in perfectionism. And also, you know, because of the person I am, I watch other people play Minecraft, like professional Minecraft YouTubers, and they're amazing. They build these amazing things. They've been doing it for like 10 years as a job. So of course they're going to be amazing with their artisticness and complexity of the things that they build. And when I build something, it doesn't look like that. And it's kind of about being okay with that. It's kind of like being a beginner again, in a way. You are doing something because it's fun, because you're expressing yourself, because it's creative, and because you want to, and it is just the level that it's at. That's one of the things that I like about Minecraft.
Do you want to talk about running now?
Well, I feel like I have talked a lot already. But yeah, I can talk about running.
Well, I'm very interested because I feel like I've been with you as much as I can in parts of your journey, understanding that this isn't something you said, my goal is to do X. And I find that fascinating. I find it interesting. I don't know if that's the way I can operate, but I really understand the merit in it. So I would like, first of all, for myself, that if you could like share the story again, but also for people listening, because I think there's a lot of value in how you've approached this. Should I say approached it?
No, that's right. I actually think that what I was talking about earlier about allowing gray areas and trying to live a life where you're doing things, I guess, based on interest and whether you want them, that has come into the running as well. And I feel like that's important to say, because I think that anything that you do in life, it's all connected. Like, sure, there's some stuff that we have to do, like we've got to go to work and make money because capitalism and stuff. But I feel like any of the things that you do as part of like your development as a human being, even if you were to like put them into different categories, I do think they're all connected, because the things that you're learning in one arena will translate to the next arena. And I feel like this is so true when it comes to me and my running journey, which I haven't actually shared very much about because I haven't really been sharing stuff online very much. I am on Strava, so I get my like social media must share my life fix through through like posting my runs on Strava, but that's kind of a minor thing. I've always wanted to go running my whole life. I tried it a few times when I was like a teenager. I hated it. I had it in my mind for the rest of my life as something that I'd really like, I should do, would like to do. I don't know. It seems fun. Like it seems so romantic, running. Living in central London, you can like run along the Thames. Oh my God, romantic, like picture perfect movie type of thing. So I love the idea of it. Never actually enjoyed running itself. It was not enticing. Oh yeah, I turned 40. That was a thing. And I think it made me think about health, getting older, creaky knees, making noises when you're getting up off of a chair or picking something up off the ground. Yes, exactly. And there was this thought in my head if I would really, really like to invest in my future health and make sure that I am just going into my future as a healthy individual. I'm reasonably healthy. I eat healthily, that kind of thing. But my level of activity had really gone down since the kids go to school by themselves and I no longer take them into school. That used to be my form of like quote unquote exercise. It was just walking, but at least it kept me active and got me kind of my active minutes per week. So to make sure that I wasn't just like a potato sitting at my computer. And I work from home, so I have no commute or anything like that. So I was like very motivated by health in the first instance. And then the second thing was that I was trying to bring in this, I guess, ethos of how can I do something without making myself do it? Because I'm one of those people who my whole life has kind of felt like, oh, there's so many things I have to do and I can't do them or I don't want to do them, but I have to do them. So I'll just make myself. And that has made me into a extremely functional person, a person who can get things done, a person who can achieve things and can be seen to be doing lots of things and can be seen to be living a, productive and healthy life. And that's great. Like there's nothing against leading a productive and healthy life, but there is, on a kind of a human self level, it's quite deadening to only be able to achieve things and to only be able to achieve a level of consistency with things through, I don't know, strong arming yourself and making yourself. And I was, I guess, really interested in the question. This is also why, in a way, why I stopped doing art, because I was like, well, what if I only do art when I really fancy it, when I really want to do it? I'm not going to make myself. Well, and then therefore I'm actually not doing much art at the moment because I'm not strong arming myself. I'm not making myself. So with the running, I was like, okay, I will go today. This was at the end of April. I'll go today and I will see how I feel. And I will try to run without walking as slowly as I need to in order to keep running and not walk. And also, I will not make myself run again unless I want to. And so on that day that I went out running for the first time, I think I ran for maybe 12 or 13 minutes. I don't know. I can check my stats on my phone. I did not know if I was ever going to run again. And that was okay. So it was literally, I was only going to do it once. And then afterwards, if I was going to run again, it was only ever going to be because I wanted to, not because I felt like, oh, I can't give it up. I can't fail. I can't I'm so lazy. If I don't do it again, I'll have failed again. So it might sound like a little bit of mind over matter thing, like telling myself things. I don't know. I just had to, in order to feel like I could really be free to make that decision of whether I wanted to or not. And so every time after I would run, there would be the option of never running again. Lo and behold, I've only wanted to run more. And also actually just backtracking slightly, I have slight hypermobility. And for me, doing exercise, so people will say, oh, you should do more exercise, do couch to 5K or do this or do that. And it's like, oh my God, my body starts hurting. And I don't mean my body starts hurting in the right way of oh, you're working on things and the hurt means that you're doing something and then it goes away. I hurt my body and then so I do the thing that you're supposed to do, very low impact or very gradual, not pushing it, that kind of thing. And my body goes oh, well, I guess your knee is inflamed now and it's going to just stay inflamed for months. You're welcome. Here's a nice present. So it's been very frustrating. It's been very educational. It's taught me a lot about my body and what I know about my body. It's taught me a lot about when you go to see a professional like a physiotherapist, if they're only treating your body and they're not treating you as a person who has experience in that body, then they are as good as useless. Because I got some small injuries from running, went to see a physiotherapist who gave me 2 much worse injuries than the ones that I came to the physiotherapist for. And it was very painful, both physically, but what I mean, it was emotionally painful to learn that a medical professional or a person who's there to help you doesn't always help. And it requires a dialogue between patient and medical professional in order to get somewhere. And it is very disappointing for me because I still have that kind of childhood view of you go to the doctor fixes you because they understand about these things, these medical things that you don't understand about. But it's not actually like that. But on the flip side, I have noticed that I am getting stronger. I ran my first 5K a couple of weeks ago. I went to park run with a friend, ran the whole way, did not stop once. It was amazing. I'm really pleased. And that was kind of like you said, oh, I didn't set any goals. Well, that was my tentative goal. First, my goal was running without walking. So however slow I needed to run in order to not have to stop to catch my breath, which is very, very slowly. I have to tell you, it was like I would go out running with my kids because in the beginning, I needed the motivation. I was like, please, can you come running with me? Because then I'll go. And they were like, yeah, sure, mom, no problem, which is amazing about having teenagers. Although not necessarily a teenage trait, but my kids are quite up for like, oh, shall we go for a run? And because I think it suits their interests as well. And then I would run and then they would like walk alongside me pointedly as like, mom, you are running so slowly. It's just like walking. So that was the first goal was just running without walking, and then the second goal tentatively was I'd like to run a 5K.
Again, well done on your run. That is an amazing achievement.
Thank you.
My dad used to be like a proper, and I don't know how to. I don't mean he was a proper. Well, I don't know what the term is. Like long distance.
Well, dedicated. Oh,
long distance. Yeah. I think that's the word for like marathons, like 82 kilometers, 89 kilometers.
Oh wow, That's ultra marathons they are.
And so like my idea of running is very intense. Whenever I see someone running, I really have like my own story about what time they've woken up. But I really admire like people who run, people who have like dedication to physical endeavors, because for me that's currently not on the plan, not on the I'm not subscribing, not yet. The thing that I've noticed about myself is I won't get stuff done if I don't have a to-do list. And I will sit and agonize about not doing stuff and how I should be doing stuff, or how I should be doing more stuff, or how I'm not doing stuff because I'm X, Y, and Z. So it's with me, it's just a really negative feedback loop. But just this idea of, and I think like maybe Kaktober is the same thing, that if I was just thinking stuff, like it's still it's a win. It's a part of the challenge to not do stuff too. So I feel like this is writing almost like a game for yourself that you can always win at. And that sounds amazing. Like there's no, like you said, if I don't run, then I haven't failed at what I'm doing. That's not with me, it's like all or nothing. I really like what you've done. And I don't know if I'm ever going to employ it in my life or have the ability to, but I think now that we're talking about it, Kaktober does feel a little bit like that.
Yeah, I feel like the takeaway here isn't like, oh, you can run too because Iris can do it.
No,
like,
you can. We can most of us can run too.
I mean, running is horrible. Yeah, you can run when they're after
announce that we're starting a running club.
A running club, running podcast next time. No, but like I think the takeaway is about motivation. The takeaway is about not strong-arming yourself. The takeaway is about you can achieve more than zero is enough, to quote Kaylee Gray. It applies everywhere. If I had run only once and then never again, I still would have run one more time than zero. And like sometimes, sure, like that wouldn't have helped my health in the long run, I know. But I do think that this kind of like the self-flagellation is so unhelpful in terms of developing long-term good habits that are allowed to also morph and change over time. So I sometimes think to myself like, oh gosh, I wonder if I'm still going to be running in a year's time, in 5 years' time. But it's okay to not know that. And I think that, again, bringing it back to the art thing, that like I'm trying to be okay with right now not making art and not making it into some kind of, oh, that means I'll never do it again, or like that kind of stuff. It's like, it's just open. The future is open to me. Yeah. So the takeaway is about, I don't know. You decide what the takeaway is for you yourself. Write in on a postcard. What is the takeaway?
I hear you. That's not my takeaway. That's not what I got from it. What I'm getting from it is definitely motivation and strong arming oneself. It sounds so miserable to have to like twist your arm and bring you to like every single thing that you achieve in life. But
Yeah.
I also know that some of us need that, not for everything, just for some things until we build that momentum and those habits. Like we're all
Yeah, well, that's why I took my kids with me. It's like that way I don't have to be responsible for like going out. It's like we're doing it together. I think that is another thing though, doing things together. This podcast wouldn't exist if we didn't do it together. But can I ask you a question actually? So having talked about strong arming or not strong arming, and I know that there are certain things that you do need to like make yourself do. I don't know, your tax return, like who likes doing that? But when it comes to art, like how do you relate to how do you relate to relate this back to your relationship with your art? Because you are obviously doing October, which you're doing for yourself, but you are also sharing it. You're teaching on a variety, like you're teaching on quite a lot of different things right now, like quite a lot more. I just want to understand more about like how you relate to that concept of like, does it just come from you naturally? Like, do you sometimes not share things because they just...
Usually, when I'm not sharing, you must know that Tamara is doing. But there's been portions where I haven't been able to do because I've been sick physically, mentally, spiritually, all the E's. And then I have to do lessons. And I think we've spoken about this at length, where I have such a like finite amount of energy and I'm putting it into lessons. And that makes me so sad. Like even saying it now, I can feel like a little lump coming up in my throat because Tamara wants to do stuff for Tamara. Tamara wants to do what she wants to do. And then I have to just I have to fulfill my contractual obligation. And then I'll be painting something and it's amazing and I love it. And I'm like, oh, that would make a good lesson because I have 3 lessons due. Or I'm painting something and I have this narrator who is teaching what I'm painting for myself to an invisible audience, which I hate because it's so distracting. I like to zone out when I paint. So there's 2 things. Like number one, it's like hyper focus. But the other thing is I do think when I paint. I think a lot when I paint. And I like that time because it's the one time where I just have like one voice in my one voice in my head. So maybe I've gone a little bit off topic here, but that's kind of what I think about teaching, etc. So now that I'm doing Kaktober, I'm sharing it. Even if I do it and I don't share it, like it doesn't matter. I don't ever want to be a person, I think, with a curated feed. I don't think that's my personality. I don't think my brain will allow it. I think there is a level of self-sabotage there. When I'm doing Kaktober, the only reason I'm posting it out there is because I want to reach the other Tamaras. I want the people who think the internet is so big and dead, or like life is so dead or sanitized, or like...
Or the internet is so curated and everything looks so amazing.
Like people are
and everything
inauthentic.
is like
that inauthentic thing is such a complicated subject because can we ever truly be ourselves? I don't know, right? I don't know if you ever truly, even with yourself, sometimes you're not yourself.
Yeah, but I understand, but that brings me back to what I was just thinking when you were talking. It sounds as if your art process is an opportunity for you to really be with yourself, and in a way that when you are teaching, you are taking yourself out of that dynamic. So you're then with yourself, but with loads of others as well, or for others. And I think that that's actually extra painful because usually those things are quite separated. Like as in, you're doing your job, like your day job, and that's not when you're connecting with yourself. That's fine. Then you go home and you do a thing that is really for yourself, where you are with yourself. And when you are teaching art, you are mixing those 2 things up. And I think that that's actually quite difficult.
Yeah, but I think it's got to do with the quantity. So like if every single day you're eating steak, and this is me doing the stuff I love, eating steak, like when you have to eat broccoli once in a while, or I don't know, share the steak with someone else, that's okay because you've eaten so much of steak already. But now it's become a thing of like I wouldn't say starving, but sometimes it feels like I'm starving. And there's a steak and I need to share it with all of these other people. That's kind of what's happening. And then it is painful. But I will say for the past few months, things have been a little bit better in life. I feel like I'm getting a better hold on things mentally, on like boundaries, telling people to fry fish. And most importantly, like just really allowing myself to, and it boils down to this, to like truly feel the emotions, like even the really disgusting ones. And I know that sounds like, oh, there's judgment there, but some of the things that I feel just feel so intense that I panic about what I'm going to feel. And I mean, TMI, then I have a freezing episode. And then I wake up 15 minutes later and I'm like, oh, shit, I could have died if I was driving a car. So now that I'm getting a hold on that stuff, not because I'm in control, but because I'm actually just processing a lot more, I'm making more stuff. Yeah, man, go outside, have a run, touch grass. But most importantly, if I can advocate, if you feel like it, and this is what you want to do, like make art and make shitty art. Because I'm so tired of seeing things that look the same, man.
Yeah, make shitty art, make your art. Audience, thank you for listening. If you have an opinion about what you would like us to talk about, which could be about art, it could be about creativity, it could be about life. Obviously, I can talk about running, apparently. Please let us know. You can email us, notarealartist@gmail.com. No, is it Not a Real Artist or Not a Real Artist Podcast?
Not a Real Artist Podcast @gmail.com.
Is that right? Okay. Yeah, email us there.
You know what? Don't email us. Just leave us the hell alone.
Yeah, we'll see you when we see you.
And here are your key takeaways. 1. Creativity isn't just painting, it's any form of making. Building in Minecraft, sewing, even a self-development practice like running is all creative. 2. Like Kaylee Gray says, more than zero is enough. Tiny efforts beat perfection. Your momentum can be gentle. You don't have to strong-arm yourself. 3. Protect your private practices. Teaching and public work can drain, so keep a space where it's just you and the sketchbook to keep your well full. 4. Prompts and challenges are inspiration or permissions, not obligation. Feel free to repeat themes, skip days, change your mind, keep it fun, or make your own challenge. 5. Resist sameness and curation. Let your art be messy, personal, specific to you. The call to action is make shitty art.